Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. Today we're doing the Noob Guide for Noobs and we are going to go in with our next champion, or god, whatever you want. I haven't really decided who to go yet, but you will already know. It's going to be Mercury. There you go. Mercury, melee physical damage carry. Yeah, so he is a really hard carry. He normally jungles in Conquest. And well, he can do very well in 3v3 as well. He's reasonable in arena. No, he's actually good in arena. He's reasonable in domination. In 3v3 joust, he's just a beast. Anyway, oh, it seems we have that little bug where the mouse doesn't show up. Yeah, we're going to go over the actives first. So, yeah, you are based on speed. You don't really need sprint, but yeah, it's the one character that can actually use sprint efficiently. So if you want to go for that, sure, go for it. It gives you extra damage, but it's not really that good. Girdle of Might, especially the inner power one, is very good on you. Blink is good on you. Purification beads, of course, always good on well, on carries. The same goes for our last here, the Aegis Amulet. And then, because you're a jungler, you mostly want to go Hand of the Gods into the stun, so into the Fist of the Gods. Gives you an extra stun, it gives you even more CC than you already have. And then you might want to consider like Creeping Curse or, well, maybe Eye of Providence, who knows. It all depends on what you want to go for. By now you should know how the actives work, so what they do and what you should get if you're following the whole thing. But yeah, it is very basic things. So your starter item should be Boomba's Mask, because you should be a jungler. If you don't, then you probably shouldn't go for a starter item, because your basic attacks are not going to be the thing that actually picks up minions in the beginning of the game. So unless you want to pick up minions with your one, you're going to have a bad time in lane. Because, well, those, by the way, count as basic attacks. So then Death Toll would still be decent, I guess. But you can also go for Mark of the Vanguard. But yeah, Boomba's Mask should be your starter item and you should be jungling. So items you should get are just really power based. Your escape is in your ultimate or your dash or just your playstyle. So you shouldn't have any items that are defensive unless they also have offensive stats. So things like Void Blade would still be acceptable, because Void Blade has a lot of offensive stats and just add some defensive stats to that. Heartseeker, that's your man. That is the thing you want to go in the really early game, probably as your first item. Maybe, yeah, maybe as just after like boots level 1. But really early on, because it is such a good item. It gives you movement speed, which is excellent as Mercury, because that gives you even extra damage, and it gives you a large amount of physical power. Titan's Bane, definitely for you in the later stage of the game. Ninja Tabbies, the Warrior Tabi are the ones to go for. Not the Ninja Tabi. Yeah, I keep calling them Ninja Tabi because that's what they were called before they remade them. Now they're just Tabi, and you want to go for the Warrior Tabi.
Your middle tower is under
Lifesteal wise, because I just noticed the lifesteal item, I don't really know what you should go for, but we will take a look at that when we reach the lifesteal. For now, I'm going to skip Devourer's Gloves and Beatstick. Executioner, yeah, it would be good, but you do have that maximum attack speed anyway, so most of the time you will not go for that. Most of the time you will go more for penetration, and here in this case you get additional mana. And here you have some of the magical protection that you could get, although it's not great. Lifesteal with Kin's Blades could be very useful, but as I said, once again, you get that additional attack speed, and you don't really need that. Golden Bow, however, is a very good item for you. It still is. They kind of fixed a problem they had with it. It does give you a pretty decent amount of extra damage on your one, And that is exactly what you would want out of that. You want to have that burst damage on that skill, because in the early game, well, that comes in very handy. Of course, it is just splash damage, but because you are hitting multiple enemies in a splash radius, the splash can actually really stack up, and therefore Golden Bow is still good there. For the rest, Void Blade would be nice. Yeah, Rage once again with that attack speed. You don't need attack speed, so just don't go for that. Deathbringer is definitely your guy. So anything that's in this tab is basically a no-no for you. Except for the Ninja Tab Eyes, because, well, you need those boots. So, yeah. Anyhow, let's see if we can find out what would be a good lifesteal item for you. So these three are basically no-nos. So no Kin's Blades, no Soul Eater, no Assy. Then for the rest, we have Devourer's Gloves, which are always awesome. We have the Beat Stick, which is awesome against healers, and because you're trying to burst them down, getting Beat Stick against healers is nothing bad. Then the Blood Forge, that's my personal favorite, but it doesn't need to be yours, so you can also go for the Devourer's Gloves. Devourer's Gloves are awesome. Well, take the Devourer's Gloves, not the Devourer's Touch, because that's a crappy item anyway. And then Eye of Retaliation, which is a crap item to begin with, so don't go for that. So I guess you have the choice between Bloodforge and Devourer's Gloves, and that is all you and Beat Stick in certain situations, and that is all the choices you have. Don't go for attack speed, it's not necessary. You have your 2 for that, and you should be able to work with that. Penetration then, yeah, these are items that are very good. Titan's Bane, as I said, in the later stage of the game, Tabai in the early game, and then Executioner probably not. But Jotun's Wrath and Void Blade are both very good on you. I mean, the additional mana, yeah, that's nice to have, but you're mainly doing it for the cooldown reduction, which you don't really need, and for the physical penetration, physical power, yeah, that is what you do want. Penetration, really important on carries, of course. Critical Chance then, as I said, Deathbringer and Golden Bow, those are your main things, and this guy has extra attack speed on it, and yeah, it's just not necessary. Then defensive items, I'm just going to skip them because you don't really want those. And aura items, same story, these are all defensive except for the Void Blade, so the rest is pretty much crap. Movement speed. This is where it becomes interesting, because there are actually movement speed items that come in very useful for you. For example, the Winged Wand can be very useful against a team that has a lot of slows. It also gives you extra movement speed, of course, so you get extra damage from that. Heartseeker, yeah, that is your main item to go for. Not Fatalis, because it has attack speed. It's really an easy rule that I put forward here. And well, if you're really having trouble, Witchstone would still be an okay item. It's just not great. I mean, it gives you attack speed, which isn't good, but the reduction of attack speed, yeah, that can actually be, plus the physical protection, of course, can actually be useful in certain situations, but I definitely wouldn't recommend it as a main item. So cooldown reduction, yeah, you don't really need cooldown reduction, but if you want cooldown reduction, Jotun's Wrath is probably, well, the Tabai, of course, that's pick number 1. Jotun's Wrath, pick number 2, and the Breastplate of Valor if you're having trouble with physical damage. Yeah, for the rest, the Winged Wand is still cool. I already said that in movement. And then the others, yeah, those are crap. You don't need a lot of mana. You don't need MP5 therefore, or mana itself. All in all, it's very easy to explain how Mercury works, and I'm going to attempt in our next video here to actually play him in a decent way. I don't have a lot of experience with him, but I do know what he does, and yeah, I'm going to try to demo that to you. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Very short one this time. I tried to make it a little bit shorter than normal, and I will see you next time. GG.